We often talk about how aBeZy is the best S&D player in the world, a person with a massive amount of impact on the map, and in this video I want to show you exactly how much impact he has and how much of an influence he has been on FaZe and their World Championship coming to the end of this year. And the graph here that I've put together shows you the first blood percentage as well as the kill death ratio of every single player in the league over this year, as long as they've played at least 10 games. And surprise, surprise, the person there up at the top right, that golden zone where everyone wants to be on one of these graphs, the person there is, of course, aBeZy, rocking a 1.14 KD and a 20.2% first blood rate. In fact, out of all players in the league, only Insight has a greater kill-death ratio, and the only person who actually got close in the first blood race was going to be Classic during his time at Paris. Yes, not the player I was expecting to be anywhere near it, but apparently he didn't have that bad a start of the season, at least in Search and Destroy. aBeZy continued that insane form going into Champs, picking up 16% of all the first bloods, meaning that basically just under 1 in 5 rounds would be an aBeZy first blood. And in that grand final alone against Toronto Ultra, he picked up 9 in 28 rounds, which is absolutely phenomenal form and really shows the kind of impact he was having on the map. If we bring up our heat maps very quickly, he has 5 first bloods in the Express, 1 in Miami, and 3 in the raids. And the thing is here about these kills, what you will see is that they're all on the bomb sides. There's no up the middle of the map, showing that every time he does go and get one of these first blood kills, a big part of them is that they are impactful. They're a part of ensuring the area is clear for the bomb, or if he is carrying the bomb, that he is ushering it towards that bomb zone. There's no empty kills, so to speak, if you could ever class a first blood as one. And in fact, a lot of them, especially if you look at that Express, are directly on top of the bomb site, part of his role to just get in, clear things out as much as possible. In fact, those kills that are first bloods not around bomb sites directly are those where he's overextended. You'll see this in a couple of his first bloods throughout that grand final. And what he does is once he's aware that a zone is clear because either the enemy team aren't there or they're just not set up correctly, he will push out through the back. An example being on raid against Cammy, or he also got one on Express where he pushed out, finds Insight waiting at the far end, and just ensuring that that entire side is open for his teammates to push through. And one of the very notable things about pretty much all of these first bloods that were in the grand final was the fact that he was supported by at least 1, if not 2 teammates, often with Simp or an AR watching out over the both of them as they tried to cover ground. And this factors into his movement and how he plays, and the fact that that support there is really good for him. He's extremely direct between cover. He sticks to a lot of it, whether it be a wall in order to minimize the angles and reduce risks, or just little bits of cover. He darts between it all as much as he can, very much so playing the safety game at a high pace, at that high level. But one of the interesting things actually is how he changes his routes up. Now, you're going to see here a first blood that he gets in the 4th round of Express. Now, he flies past Ticket, up through that middle, past Ticket, round the back, and clears a kill from the bomb site. Now, a couple of rounds later, he gets basically the exact same first blood, except he's changed up his angle slightly. Instead of going around the back of Ticket, he hops in through a window. And the whole play here is a mind game, a mental gymnastics with the opposition of, okay, you know where I'm coming, but do you know exactly where I'm going to be? Do you know how you're going to deal with this problem that I am? And so often flipping it and changing it just makes it unpredictable, unscripted at any moment, and damn near impossible for a defender to be completely ready for a player like aBeZy. The second big factor when it comes to these first bloods is his positioning. Now, I spoke before about how he often has a teammate in support, and one of the ways in which he does like to get those first bloods is to almost bait out his teammate in a way. He's aware that they're baiting him, after all. He is the one out in front of everyone being provided cover. But because he gets in and around bits of cover and into safe spaces, what often happens is he is missed by an opponent player, and an opposing player will take a shot at his teammate. Then aBeZy springs up, gets the kill, or at minimum a trade. There's a lot of second bloods in his statistics as well, and he does a fantastic job then of just staying alive, getting out, and playing around with that kill intact. Furthermore, he only likes to play in compact spaces. You don't see him very often charging up the middle of the map or running down a long lane, and if he ever does, he'll always use a wall or a piece of cover in order to minimize the amount of angles and risks at all times. He's very good at this, constantly aware of just tiny things, tiny issues that might pop up that a lot of players tend to slack off a bit, especially mid-game or through a round that may just look like any other round. He's always aware of what's going on and where the problems may be. And finally, his positioning when he needs to be patient is brilliant. There's a lot of players in this league who are aggressive, they get a lot of first bloods, but they won't have a great kill-death ratio because they tend to throw their life away. The high risk, high reward. They get in and get a kill, or they get in and get killed. And the thing is with aBeZy is he gets in, clears an area. Okay, there's no one here. What I'm going to do then is lie in wait. I'm going to let a player walk into my field. I'm going to let a player get into my territory here, or I'm going to let my teammates arrive first before I then start to clear out more area. He's very good at this, and this again is something that you won't see out of a lot of those players with that high first blood ratio, because their entire game plan is aggression. And we talk about how aBeZy is super aggressive, one of the first in through the door. I don't think that's actually a fair trait at all, looking at any of his modes. He is super aggressive, but he's intelligent with it. He just does it when he needs to. He still has that patient side to his game and that intelligence to his game. But just to really emphasize the importance around those first bloods, the one time this year that he did not get double-digit first bloods, the stage 4 major, when they went out top 8, worst positioning of Simp's entire career, absolutely showing just how important it is. And not necessarily because that means aBeZy's been bad, because he still had a decent series. I think he finished on like a 1.08 or something as a KD, great for an S&D entry player. The thing is, his kills are massive at opening up the map, opening up the field, giving the team the time to execute their strategies, and quite frankly, just allowing the rest of his team to play the way that they want to. They really do pivot around those first bloods massively to FaZe, and you can see why from how effective they are.